Right now, your feed is flooded with influencers claiming the recent drop in service. Now is a get-rich-quick opportunity. The retail crowd sees a massive red candle, draws a few arbitrary technical support lines, and aggressively deploys capital without a single shred of fundamental due diligence. Why? Because superficial technical analysis is easy. It gives the amateur the illusion of control. But drawing lines on a chart without understanding the underlying structural engine is not investing. It is gambling. Real wealth is engineered through deep, mechanical fundamental analysis. The problem is that the average retail investor lacks the institutional tools, the time, and the processing power to parse a 150-page SEC filing or dissect a grueling earnings call. So they skip the due diligence entirely and outsource their thinking to a Twitter thread. That is a fatal error in portfolio architecture. Today, we upgrade the system. I am going to show you how to build your own Silicon Analyst. We will deploy a strict 3-phase mechanical pipeline using Perplexity, NotebookLM, and Gemini to execute hedge fund-level fundamental due diligence. We are going to extract the raw, uncompromised data on ServiceNow and let the system dictate the allocation. No hype, no exhaustion, just data. Let's build the protocol. Before we can interrogate the data, we must extract it. A clean room is only as effective as the raw materials you place inside it. If you feed an AI financial news articles or analyst opinions, you corrupt the system with bias. We demand absolute, unfiltered truth. To gather this data instantly, without drowning in Google's SEO noise or retail clickbait, we deploy Perplexity. But we do not use it as a standard search engine. We utilize its direct financial architecture. We input the ticker, ServiceNow, and immediately bypass the newsfeed, navigating straight into the Earnings tab. Here, we extract the raw materials. We download the official SEC financial filings, and crucially, we extract the unedited earnings call transcripts for at least the last 2 consecutive quarters. A single quarter is just a snapshot. 2 quarters allow our system to establish a structural trajectory and identify management shifts. We download these source documents directly to our local drive. The raw data is now secured, but before we place it into the vault, we need the exact protocol to interrogate it. A data vault like NotebookLM is incredibly powerful, but it is entirely passive. If you ask it an amateur question like, "Is ServiceNow a good stock?" it will generate a generic, retail-level summary. Architects do not read summaries. We demand systemic interrogations. To extract institutional-grade data, you must remove the human element from the questioning process. This is where we deploy Gemini. We do not ask Gemini to analyze the stock. We command Gemini to engineer the precise prompt we will use to interrogate NotebookLM. We are building the parameters of the scan. We instruct Gemini to design a prompt focused exclusively on the metrics required for our long-term segments. For an enterprise software asset like ServiceNow, net income is not enough. We need to measure the switching costs and the stickiness of the revenue. Gemini generates our protocol. When we enter the data vault, we will force the AI to extract specific rigid pillars. First, the exact current RAPO to verify pipeline growth. Second, the net retention rate. Third, the true free cash flow margin. But here is the ultimate architectural defense: the red flag scan. We command the AI to relentlessly hunt the earnings call transcripts for any degradation of the company's structural moat. We force it to answer one critical question: is the AI revolution accelerating their enterprise dominance, or is it rendering their legacy software obsolete? We do not accept vague answers. We demand evidence. We now have our weapon. We are ready to enter the clean room. Phase 3. The vault. With our prompt engineered and our data extracted, We move to Phase 3. We enter NotebookLM and construct a brand new, empty notebook. Think of this as an institutional clean room. It is a completely closed ecosystem. We upload the unedited SEC filings and the earnings transcripts directly into the vault. This is the critical advantage of this architecture. By restricting the AI exclusively to these specific source documents, we completely eliminate hallucinations. The system cannot pull outside opinions. It cannot read Twitter. It is mathematically forced to rely only on the hard facts reported by the company. Now, we execute the protocol. We paste the institutional interrogation prompt we built with Gemini directly into the vault, and we fire the scan. Remember, we are not asking for a summary. We are demanding the precise extraction of our metrics. In seconds, the vault strips away the corporate noise and the management spin. It delivers the pure, structural reality of the asset, cleanly organized and backed by direct citations from the documents. The interrogation is complete. The data is now ready for the final architectural decision. We now have the unmanipulated structural facts. But raw data is useless without an architectural framework. We do not guess where this asset belongs, and we do not force a fit. We take the precise metrics extracted from the vault and feed them back into our synthesizer, Gemini. We command the system to cross-reference these hard numbers against the strict parameters of our 6-segment architecture. For an enterprise giant like ServiceNow, we are specifically testing its viability for either the core or the low-attention segments. Both allocations are engineered strictly for long-term investing. They demand a massive structural moat, extreme customer stickiness, and multi-year compounding. If the net retention rate and structural growth meet the absolute highest mechanical thresholds, and the system decisively clears the asset of any AI-driven red flags, the asset earns its place. The data dictates whether it requires the active monitoring of the core segment or if it possesses the autonomous strength for the low-attention segment. If the margins reveal fundamental friction, or if the moat is being breached by new technology, it is ruthlessly discarded. The AI does not make the investment decision. The architecture makes the decision. The AI simply executes the protocol. If the asset clears the red flag scan and earns its place in our long-term architecture, our fundamental job is done. But passing the scan does not mean we blindly hit the buy button. That is retail behavior. Identifying a superior asset is only phase 1. To actually deploy capital, we must shift from fundamental screening to tactical execution. We must consult the macro compass, align with the volatility index, and deploy our capital in calculated, mechanical tranches. If you want to see exactly how we mechanically execute the entry for an approved asset without FOMO or emotion, click the video on your screen right now. It breaks down the complete institutional execution protocol. Stop guessing. Start engineering. System over emotion. I will see you in that audit.